Alright, so now that the Speeduino install is kind of wrapped up at this point, I mean, car is running, everything seems to be working fine on the ECU side. I just wanted to make a quick, basically, final video for this series, and it's going to be how much does it actually cost. So this is cost to me, doesn't include cost of stuff that I already had, like I had a bunch of the wire already, doesn't include tools and stuff like that because I had them already. But I did try to capture as much as I could of what I had to buy that directly went into this. I didn't always buy the cheapest option. I had preferences that I wanted to follow, but there are cheaper options for a good bit of the more chunky pieces. So when we get to those, I will basically call them out as different options, and then I'll put a running total down in this corner, and then we can basically just sum it all up at the end. So the big one, the ECU itself, I got it on sale. To me, it was $228. This is not the cheapest Speeduino out there. It's not even the most expensive. It's the middle ground, but I like the different features that it had. So there are cheaper options. I think you can get them as low as $100 if you're willing to do some labor on your side. So you could save up to $100 or more if you do it yourself. Next thing, wideband controller. To me, that was $140. I used a Spartan 3 Lite from 14.7 that came with a wideband sensor along with the controller. There are cheaper options. This one worked for me. It was simple, no gauge, no readout. I didn't want anything like that. I wanted clean aesthetics, so that is what worked for me. The next thing was a order through Ballinger Motorsports. That's who I like to go through for all of my sensors. They're genuine sensors. They give you all the data. So those are things like intake, air temperature sensor, coolant sensor. They also come with they sell all the connectors to go with them. So if you're struggling to find like the actual harness side connectors to go with all these sensors, they're a very good resource. I even got like the junior power timer connectors for the TPS sensor through them. So I like them, ship fast, everything's exactly what they said, has all the data, good to go. Next thing is the Hall effect sensors. So I got those from James Co. It's just an online electronics distributor similar to DigiKey, Mauser, stuff like that. Those were $60. They're kind of pricey sensors, they're $30 a piece, but they are gear speed sensors, pretty much industry standard for automotive aftermarket applications. So yeah, 30 bucks a piece, 60 total. I had to buy the relays for my fuse box separately. My fuse box was kind of a buy all the pieces, assemble it yourself unit. It wasn't a kit. So because of that and because of what it is, it was a little bit more pricey. So between the relays, they were $25 from DigiKey, and I ordered the box itself, the seals, the pins, everything else related to it through Mauser, and that was $78. So just for my fuse box setup, it was $103. Again, there are significantly cheaper options, but I like the Eaton Bussmann fuse boxes. I like how they assemble. I like the form factor. So that was something that I made the conscious choice to spend more on. You don't necessarily have to. I think you can have budget options all the way down to like $20 for a 5 or 6 relay fuse box configuration. So money can be saved there. We had the fuel pressure regulator. So that was a 3-bar fuel pressure regulator from Rock Auto, $35. A new intake air control valve, or air control valve, sorry. That was $30. That was off Amazon. Pretty much standard 3-pin PWM idle air control valve. I had an order through ProWire USA. I like them for, you guessed it, wiring. So all of the battery cable, honestly probably didn't need to use battery cable. It's not that high power of an application, but I like how it looks. I like how it works. I like not having to worry that there's not going to be enough current flow for all of the necessary things. So along with that, you have like about crimps through there, the wire looming, a whole bunch of other miscellaneous things. Just in terms of building the wire harness, I got through them. So that was, again, $93. Could get away with significantly less, cheaper looming. I mean, there's this, it was just kind of an add-on extra that I did for my project just because I wanted to. Coil connector, so this would be specific if you wanted to run LS coils. Coil connector was $14. I had to replace the ends of the ignition leads that came factory on the 944, so you have to cut them off. basically re-terminate them so they can interface with the LS coils. So the new end replacements was $18. I had to buy used plug wires from the 944, so that was $27. So just to kind of adapt the LS coils to the car was a little over $50 by the time you had to buy new ignition leads, cut them, kind of configure the ends to work with the LS coils, and then the connector for it. You could just use your standard ignition leads that came on the car, but I wanted to keep everything that came on the car separate so that if I ever wanted to go back, I don't really know why I would, but just as kind of a safety blanket, I wanted to keep all the parts that came off the car separate in their own little box. So I bought duplicates of things that I needed to kind of cut up and modify. The coolant sensor adapter, so the little piece that we cut out of our radiator hose to drop in to then put the coolant sensor in, that was $9 off Amazon. That was I think it's a 34 millimeter adapter. Miscellaneous wiring, I had to get some 14 wire gauge to run the ignition. That was $37. The fuse taps to go in the fuse box to then send 12 volts from key on power to the relays to then turn everything on. Those were $6. The cam L bolts, so the bolts that go into basically the cam tower to then hold on our cam housing, those were $13 just off Amazon. The TPS sensor, initially I didn't think I was going to need to use the TPS sensor. I wanted to leverage the old one. Turns out it was toast, and then we figured out we could put a BMW TPS sensor on it. So I made sure to get that through Rock Auto because I don't like buying sensors through eBay or Amazon. I don't really trust them. That's just me personally. That was $32. We had to get a 5-rib serpentine belt to deal with the offset that happened on the crank because of the crank trigger wheel. So the crank trigger wheel pushed the main serpentine belt pulley out. So we had to get a thinner belt. That belt was on sale for like $2. So shipped to me, it was $13. That was also through Rock Auto. The crank trigger wheel through Send Cut Send was around $20, and then I just tossed in $20 for miscellaneous printer filament because I added, I don't know how many different 3D printed parts to this to make it all work and kind of get everything to interface. So it's probably about a spool of filament, so $20 there. So that brings us to a grand total of $978. And yes, that is a not insignificant amount of money, but when you look at it in terms of comparison of what you would have to spend to just buy an ECU, like an ECU Master Black, which is a very budget-friendly, feature-heavy ECU that I've worked with in the past, those are now $1,300 just for the ECU. So that's no sensors, no harnessing, no nothing. That's just the box. The Haltech Elite 550, which would probably be the ideal Haltech ECU to put on this thing, because then you get four ignition and 4 injectors, full sequential control. Just the ECU is $920. So then you're still talking harnessing, sensors, everything like that. Evans ECU, which is a very common thing for Porsche 944s. Those, if you wanted the full package, so ECU, wiring harness, sensors, all of that stuff, it is over $3,000. So when you kind of put it in the context of what we did per dollar amount, this is great value for money in my opinion, as long as it runs great and does what it's supposed to, but I have no reason to believe that that's not going to be how it happens. So that's just a little bit of a recap on how much it actually costs, because if you're like me, I'm sure you're very curious. Just because if you're doing this, you're following the videos, you're probably curious how much does it actually cost. So that's how much it costs to me. Again, there's plenty of ways you can shave money, mainly the ECU choice and the fuse box. You should be able to cut out at least $100, maybe even $200 or more out of there. And then obviously ignition systems and stuff like that, that's also something that you could do. Now, I had coils and injectors that I kind of got on barter through someone, so I didn't have to pay for those. That would be something that you'd have to consider, but for the value for money, I think this is a really good setup. So that's it. That's the end of the Speeduino install series on a Porsche 944. And if you've hung around this far, thank you for watching. stick around because we're gonna try and do some videos on actually tuning this thing. So, thanks.